Yo guys, Crescent here. Welcome to another build video. Today I'll be showing you what I run on my stamina DK. To be honest, nothing much has changed because there are not many new sets for stamina DK anyways for this new patch. So most of the sets will be the same, but I'll show you different types of sets I run in different kind of situation, and I'll show you a third setup which is I'm going to show you two basic setups that I ran previously, and then the third one which is a bit different but equally as good as well. Okay, so let's hop straight into the sets. So the first set is the Beastly set. Basically everything is the same. You want 2 medium blood spawn, impenetrable, and then 5 fury on the body, everything impenetrable as well. You want to have everything max stamina glyphs, which is really important because you want that max stamina. You don't, as a stamina DK, you don't really need your magicka that much. That's why stamina is really important. And you can guess on the jewelry and the sword and board, we will be using werewolf hide set. And on the front bar, we will be using Maelstrom Battle Axe. You could use a Mao, you could use greatsword. Doesn't really matter. It's more or less the same. Or if you're using poison, damage poison like what I do, I'll be using this damage poison. So I will run Maelstrom weapons because it gives me, I think, 20 more. Yeah, because it's 120 and 180 for Maelstrom, so I'll get 60 more weapon damage. But if you're running something like a poison damage enchantment on your greatsword, you can just use a werewolf hide greatsword, which is equally as good as well. It's really up to you. Like usual, the poisons is you can use cost increase. You could use a poison, like a poison damage poisons. It's really up to you. The food we'll be running is the drinks we'll be running is dubious, and we'll be using the Thief Motherstone. This is the unbuffed stats. It's a bit low, but obviously you can increase your weapon damage by a lot, like about 1000 or so, maybe even more, because you can use major and minor brutality, so you can go up to 3500 or so with this setup with Fury. And yeah, overall it's pretty good, the setup. Just remember to run Thief because you need that crit heals and everything. And the second setup we'll be running is this is the basic setup. Everything is the same. So almost forgot to mention that you use 1 cost reduction and 2 weapon damage. In non-CP you use 2 cost reduction. You could even consider using block cost reduction and bash cost reduction enchantment, the shielding enchantment, but it's really up to you. Sometimes for me, if I'm tanking a lot, like I'm 2EXing and my friend is Nightblade, I'll take a lot of damage. I'll be using one of those blocking enchantment. But usually I'll run 2 weapon damage and 1 cost reduction. Okay, the weapons we'll be using is sharpened as well. The weapons are sharpened. Okay, the second setup would be we'll be using on the back the werewolves. Instead of werewolf hide, we'll be using Briarheart, which is a pretty good set in my opinion. So we'll be using Briarheart on the sword and board bar. Let me quit everything. Yep. So werewolf hide gives you more ulti regen, so you have better sustain, better defense, better leaps, more leaps. But Briarheart gives you a lot more crit, a lot more damage, and it's a tiny heal, which is decent. This setup is more or less like when you have a healer, for example. If you're playing with something like a Templar, Magicka Templar or Magicka Warden, and then you're 2EXing or something like that, you got somebody to back you up, you just go Briarheart. Briarheart is extremely important because you will go in ham, get the weapon damage. You can go up to 4k plus weapon damage easily with Briarheart. So Briarheart is an offensive setup. On the Briarheart sword, you want to use Precise because with crit damage, you will get more chance to apply that weapon damage, 439 weapon damage for 10 seconds. So you need to do more crit damage. That's why I use Precise on Briarheart. Yeah. And if you want to go full offensive, you can even use Celine, but I think Bloodspawn is the best this patch because Celine got a mini nerf, so Bloodspawn is better. And for the drinks, everything is still the same. And for the third setup, I'll tell you what you'll be using. So you'll be using 5 Tawas on the body. Just let me equip them. Okay, so I need the heavy legs. Yeah, so I got 5 Tawas on the body now. Like usual, you can switch it around. Make sure you have 5 2-0, so 5 heavy, 2 medium, and 0 light. So everything impenetrable as well. And you use Tawas, and then what you use on the head, you use Celine. So you get the damage because you lack damage with Tawas. That's how you play. You use Celine. You use 2 medium. Alright, so I got 2 Celine on the body, and then 5 Tawas. And on the sword and board bar, you can either use Briarheart, or you can use Werewolf Hide, or if you really want, you can even use Spriggans. I think Spriggans is pretty decent as well. It's really up to you. Briarheart, Werewolf Hide, or Spriggans on the sword and board bar. And then this is the third setup. So how you play this setup is you have to make sure that you have, what do you call that, shuffle 100% all the time with you. And this setup is not viable in non-CP. Make sure you remember that, because you have to dodge a lot, and in non-CP you don't have the reduction cost from CP to dodge a lot of skills, and your spells cost a lot. So this setup is for a non-CP setup. So what you do is you just make sure you have shuffle on always, and sometimes do 1 or 2 dodge throw in between. If you're snared, don't be afraid to do dodge throw instead of using shuffle, because you want to dodge attacks to gain that ultimate regen, like 3 ultimate, 1 per second. So that is crazy. That is a lot for Tawas. The downside, you have less damage, and the magical recovery isn't good at all for stamina decay. So your stats is a bit lower on Tawas, like in my opinion, because you won't gain that weapon damage from Fury, but you get the damage from Celine, which is crazy, like 16k. Yes, it got nerfed. It's a lot slower now, 1.3 seconds, and you can see the damage coming out, but it's still good. So yeah, everything is still the same. Like the front bar is still the same. You can still use poison, still use Thief, Motherstone, Dubious, Drink, and yeah, everything is more or less the same. These are the 3 setups that I use currently for stamina decay. Yeah, what else? I'll just go through the CP super quickly. So the green tree, 11 Siphoner, 34 Warlord, 39 Bashing, Focus, 43 Mooncalf, 15 Tenacity, 34 Tumbling, 44 Shadow Ward, 19 Bless, 3 Physical Weapon Expert, and 18 Shattering Blows, 66 Master at Arms, 51 Precise, 14 Piercing, 49 Mighty. Yeah, make sure you get yeah, it's not this 3, sorry, never mind. 72 Ironclad, 11 Resistance, and make sure you get on these 3 the Unchained passive, 120 points. So 49 into Hardy, 43 into Elemental Defender, and 28 into Thick Skin. You will get this 120 points. You want more into Hardy because you, as a DK, you get the Magical Resistance passive, so you don't want so much into Elemental Defender. And 6 Expert Defender and 11 Quick Recovery. So yeah, that's for the CP. And what else? Skills. Oh, I almost forgot about skills. Skills are the same basically. A Reverse Slice, Venomous Claw, Gap Close Stampede, Volatile Armor, Rally, Take Flight, Pierce Armor, Revert Bash, Shuffle, Igneous Vigor, and Spell Wall. Like usual, you can swap up Noxious Breath for Venomous Claw, and instead of Pierce Armor you can use Heroic Slash. But personally, I think that Venomous Claw is a really strong dot. That's why I use it, and it is super cheap. It costs 1k stamina only. That's why I really like Venomous Claw. Okay, yeah, what else? You can use Crit Rush if you want instead of Stampede. Both are equally good. I prefer Stampede because the snare is really nice against something like Magical Sword, Stamina Nightblade. I feel like the snare from Stampede is just really awesome. Okay, yeah, the tips, I think I covered everything ready for this for the builds. And the tips for stamina decay is you always want to apply your poisons if you have them on your enemy, and you want to apply all your dots. Okay, so depending on what dot you use, if you have using Venomous Claw, you apply it. If you're using Noxious Breath, you apply it as well. If you're using Flames of Oblivion in non-CP like I do, make sure you apply it as well, so you have all the damage outgoing. Okay, so if you're fighting scrubs, you can just, when they're like 50%, you can just go in and you just like Pierce Armor, Revert Bash and everything, and then when they're 50%, you just go Leap into Execute. That is against potatoes. But against better players, they will know how to shield up, they will know how to dodge your attack, they will know how to Vigor everything, they'll heal up. So what you want to play is you play around your timing of, what I do is I play around my timing of Vicious Claw, because every 2 seconds the damage of Vicious Claw will increase. So if you look at your enemy, the add-ons, you can see that the Venomous Claw, sorry, not Vicious Claw, so Venomous Claw is ticking off until the last 4 seconds or 2 seconds. You want to try to time your ulti with it. That is what I do usually. So I'll just wear opponent down with my light attack, Pierce Armor, bash combo, put in reverb, debuff them. Just make sure all the and hopefully the poison will apply on them as well. The damage poison, like something like this, 2 damage to dot poison. So the moment Venomous Claw goes down to like 2 or 4 seconds left, then I will go in for the lead combo into Execute. That is what I do usually, because against better players, you always need to play around the timing of Venomous Claw. That is what differentiates a good stamina decay against an average stamina decay. Average stamina decay will just throw everything at the opponent. When the ulti is up, just throw it. That's not how you kill off opponent. You want to time your skills and everything. And what you can do is, you know that Venomous Claw is sticking really hard now. You have that apply on him. You have poison apply on your enemy. What you can do is you can either use a revert heavy attack on your 2-hand bar, so you can get follow up the 10% increased damage into lead, and you execute. So you get, if you can get a 10% increased damage. If your lead crits, it's going to be even higher. So that is a way. Or another way is you can switch to you can use your 2-hand bar. You just weave in a very heavy attack into reverb bash, a fully charged heavy attack into a reverb bash, so you CC them, and then you bash, and then you switch to your front bar, and then you leap, and then you execute. Those are 2 ways you can deal like 15k damage instantly, easily, depending on your opponent. Could be even more if you are light armor and not shielded up. So it's really up to your opponent. Like it's really depending on the resistance of your opponent. DK. That's why DK, if both of them are really good, it's gonna go on to be a really long fight, because both are really tanky and doesn't deal enough damage to kill off your opponent. Okay, so that is the build. Forgot to mention the potions. I usually use Speed Potion or Crit Potion, immune to knockback. Please do not use Tri-Stat Potion because it's not good on DK. You can use Detect Pot, you can use Invisible Potion, it's fine. Against Zergs or anything, you're gonna run away. But make sure you use Immovable to Knockback Potion with either Speed Stamina or Crit Stamina. These 2 are the go-to. Okay, that's all for this build. Hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for the next build. I'm not sure what build I'm gonna go for, but maybe Warden, I'm not sure. Yeah, see you guys in cyrodiil. Okay, bye.